Hello everyone, my name is Annuo, and to keep this video as short as possible, we're going to be skipping over rating any of the skills and animations. Maybe I'll show a little bit with the assumption that you've already seen it. Of course, I'll show on screen as I talk about it, so you can read it as I talk about it. First thing and foremost, you're going to be getting a background with this character if you get her to friendship 10, so another reason to pick her up. Pretty nice background if I say so myself. But let's go take a look at her stat line. Her stat line here is going to be the same stat line as Ahmed, DJB, Ray, and I think Schneel, but the thing with Schneel is he has a passive with a 10% HP up, so it's not going to be directly the same. Basically what you're getting out of the stat line is you have average defense, low HP to most in the cast, fast, and starting effect resistance, which is very powerful, especially with an ER imprint, meaning you can build her with good ER and to resist debuffs. She also has team ER, which is good to pair with units like Arya or any other ER cheese, right? The high speed means she can be played semi-aggressively or near to an opener. 117 is a little bit hard to get to opener level if we're talking about things like Ahmed in the current meta with a speedy, or maybe like an aneuo or Conqueror Lilies. It takes a lot of speed gear to get them near 300, so 117 makes it pretty hard, but 117 on a Soul Weaver is slightly aggressive, so you have a chance to be able to do it. That being said, I do not think that you want to build her too fast, but with this kind of stat line, and as well as the kit that we're going to go over, she's very flexible. The HP is probably the worst part about her kit, but with an aggressive stat line like this, I think it's okay, especially with, once again, the passive. The passive that we have here is basically tripling Arius in a way. You have a 70% Arius to the front row, which is insanely powerful because it quite literally, if you look at the damage that comes out here, you barely take anything. Like you can see here that Janua slammed an S3 and the pop damage came out, and Crowd took 14k while Mercedes took only 3,000 and healed it back up with Guardian Ice Crystal's copy. So you quite literally will take no damage, and most of that damage is 100% getting rerouted into your front row. It kind of completely will screw over sometimes the cleaves because all of the damage will just get slammed into the front row unit, and if that unit is like Ilanav or something like using the video like a Crow or a Yulha, they have past abilities to punish with their S3 ability, and if they have like a revive set and Holy Sack, they'll get to push up and punish you. Now the immortality is not like undispellable, so it is, if you have an unbuffable, you will not get the immortality, but you will survive the death. You won't be able to die, but you will still, one more hit afterwards will kill. I don't know if offering is countered by unbuffable because you can get this back off S3, so you just have to see. But I think it's like you keep this entire match actually, so I don't know if unbuffable will change it, or if you die and revive, I don't know if you lose offering. I don't know exactly. We'll have to see. The other part of her passive with the CR pushing is very powerful because it completely means that you can match your opponent's aggression in some type of way. For instance, if they take an MO pair plus Flan, you get like a 20% push, and then Flan pushes yourself by 25, so that's 45. So you get like a 20% push, and that's only accounting for 2 characters pushing. If the passive also works in terms of all the enemies, then instead everyone is getting 20 CR, so that's 80% CR in total, plus Flan duel, which is 25, so that's 105. So that means Mercedes will take a 50% CR push and immediately take the second turn if you use Payra, which is insane. And there's a lot of other things that have CR pushes in the game, so like this passive is very strong. Moving on to the S3 here. The S3 is a full cleanse and increases combat readiness by 25%, and in order to for the front row unit with offering, she takes their HP and then grants everyone else abundance, and abundance is pop damage, and this pop damage stays on you for the entire 2-turn duration that it's applied for. So even if you attack, it stays on you. You can see here Arya did her extra attack here, and then you get 7k attack, meaning it took 4k fixed damage. Okay, you can see she presses S3 here, and then 1 stack of abundance gets used up here, and then she has it for an additional turn. Now unfortunately they didn't really showcase it in a way that I can see if it's like, because like they kept taking extra turns and stuff, but it's a very strong fixed damage. 2k fixed damage is just very strong, and if you have FCC you can counter it, but the 2k fixed damage adds up when you're getting hit. Alright, the last skill here is her S1. Her S1 is like it's a fair for a 75% chance, and although compared to more it's not an ignore ER skill, it's still very strong. Because imagine your stun, fair is just like a stun. Imagine you're just getting hit with a 75% stun every single turn. And of course it's a 40% chance to break out. It's a fairly higher chance to break out, but if you've played against Mort before and got fair, you know that 40% doesn't feel like a 40% sometimes. And not to mention, if you have a soul burn, you just make this an AoE fair, so you're just completely locking down your opponent for fun. So I think this is honestly a very strong skill. And not to mention, you get a heal, if you can look at Crow here, based off your target's max HP. And target max HP is one of the stronger healing effects in the game, because if the hero has like a high amount of like health, it heals them up a bit more, or than like if it's based off the caster's HP, right? So it's honestly very, very strong, and her whole entire kit is very strong. There's a lot of combo units you can use with her. There's a lot of things you have to test out, because there's just her abundance thing was no offering. Her offerings buff completely means that your frontline unit has to be really important, and you have to be careful who you pick. Things like Frau, Yoha, I think Crimson Armin, maybe BBK, Janua is not too bad, maybe. Something with ER would probably be good, but you have to be careful who you choose, because 70% RS means they're going to take a boatload of damage. Now, if they ever make any tank like Yoha or Crow ever again, they're going to be insanely strong with Mercedes. That being said, it does feel slightly restrictive, because once again you have to be careful who you're putting in your front row. I would never want to put my Ross in the front row with Mercedes here, because then I lose my dual attacker, I lose the ability to barrier up my back row unit, right? I wouldn't want to put Boss Arunca there, because if I put Boss Arunca there, then I'm losing my anchor, right? So we really have to think about what combo units will be good with her, but I do think she's very, very strong. I think the last thing I will say before I end it, because I want this video to be long, I do think she completely does terrible things to cleave. 70% damage share into the front row means that, and with immortality means that if you're trying to Straze cleaver, so they're not going to be able to just kill off the target. Now, if the max HP target is the front row, they're going to take max HP and then just survive the hit, meaning Straze can't kill. So you won't take the extra turn and strip. If the max HP target is another target, then the damage share will always go into the front row unit. So I don't know if this will reduce the amount of damage you take as a whole, but like either way, I'm pretty sure you're surviving AoE cleaves. Single target cleaves maybe you'll be fine. It's really hard to really predict, but I don't want this video to be too long. We're gonna review her when she comes out, so that way we have a more just, or like a clearer definition of how good she is. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye bye.